They stood in a bloody room filled with bodies, their eyes burning with fury when they couldn't find what they needed. "Where are they?" they hissed, glaring down at the woman lying limp beneath their feet. What did she do with them? The group of people surrounding the person watched in bafflement, having no idea what drove their leader so mad. This was their victory, wasn't it? "What is it?" One of the group was brave enough to step forward, but were thrown back against a blood-stained wall by a withering glare. "This was all for nothing," they growled, the heel pressing down hard enough to hear a crack from the still bleeding skull of the young woman. A thin golden circlet tangled in her once golden, now bloody hair. "We need to leave. We need to hide. We have lost today, but one day we will meet again. We will conquer, and I will be the leader of our new world." Hey guys, my name is Karma Be a Lady, and that was the prologue to my story, Greynere. I haven't gotten any comments on the video, and I said that, even though I said that I would only do this if I got comments, but my mother has been demanding that I do it, so here I am. So yeah, like you saw in the last video about how I got scammed, Greynere is about twins named George and Amelia. That has not changed. A lot has changed, but the basic plot hasn't. So they're still going to a school, but the school's name has changed. They are very powerful, let's just say that. And yeah, how about I just read the blurb, because I really don't know how to describe that. So that's probably not a good thing to say about my own book. I don't know how to describe it, but I found that because I know so much about my own book that I don't know what is going to give away everything and what's not. So usually whenever I talk to anyone about the book, I usually just tell them the entire freaking plot and they're like, "Oh, okay." So I'm just gonna read you the blurb. Vampires, shifters, and sorcerers. They're all real, just hidden. Amelia, like most, thought that they were just creatures of stories. But when an all-too-real knock comes to her door, she is forced to change that belief, thrust into a whole new world and told that she is one of them. So that's the blurb. There are a lot of spelling mistakes in my blurb that I only just realised. So Amelia and George are orphans. They have lost all of their family and they don't know why. They just think that they're normal kids. They go to school, they have part-time jobs, everything seems perfectly normal to them. But then one day they have a certain dream and then everything goes out of skew. Someone comes and knocks on the door like you saw in the blurb, and they are forced into a whole new world that they know nothing about and are forced to change real quick before everything around them just plummets. So I'm not gonna say the end game or the villain because, yeah, it's the end game. But the person you saw in the prologue, or you heard of, talking about coming back and ruling the world and everything, first of all, that all happens when they're kids. Like, they don't know anything. But so the prologue happens 16 years before the first chapter, like the actual first chapter. And the person who you saw is the big bad. They are the ultimate villain to my story. They are going to be, they're not in the first book, but they are mentioned. And the bad guy for my first book has something to do with the big bad, but not 100%. They aren't the big bad. So once Amelia and George find their way to this school, they find that everything changes for them. Amelia is an anxious young woman who is very book smart and doesn't really find herself good at much else, but she believes herself to be very, very smart. Meanwhile, George is a natural at all sports, but he isn't smart. They're basically exact opposites of each other. And then so when they get to the school, they find that, to their surprise, Amelia is the more accepted one and George is more left in the shadows, really. So that kind of creates a rift between them, but not for long. So along the way, they make a few friends, and they don't really make any enemies in the school. There are a bit of conflicts, of course, but they're teenagers. I tried to make the characters as realistic to teenagers as I could from what I remember a few years ago of being a teenager. So I actually really enjoyed writing this book, and if I get it published, I really hope that the people who read it enjoy reading it. But I'm going to give you now a bit of backstory on how I wrote the book, because it has been a long time in the works. So I started this book as a 1-chapter project in year 8, where I had to write an introductory chapter for a book, and that was that. I remember telling the teacher how long it was, and then them saying they had to cut it down. So I cut it down from 8 pages to 2, and then she said that it didn't give a satisfying end, so she failed me. Yay! But I didn't let that deter me, and I continued on with the book. I don't think I continued right away. I think it was... I don't really know how long it was between me getting my mark back and continuing my novel, but I know it was at least 6 months. It might have been a year. And then I wrote on and off and spent my spare time in class after I finished tests, and when I was not a good student. I mucked around and wrote instead of doing schoolwork. Don't do that. I spent all of my class time that I did wasn't doing assignments or paying attention, which I should have been. I spent that and all my recesses and lunches and everything, every opportunity I had, I was writing this book until I think I finished it halfway through year 10. So I was writing it for a good 2 years, on and off, 2 years. And then the whole scamming incident happened. After this whole scamming incident, then I just went off writing. I think I wrote the beginning and the end of another book that I'm working on now, because I completely just threw that into the abyss as well. But I wrote the ending of another book that got me started on the beginning of it. So I wrote the first introductory chapter for that, and then I left it out as well, because I was really, really thrown out because of the scamming and everything, and I thought I wasn't good enough. I didn't have what it took. I was just useless. It really, really badly affected me when the whole scamming thing happened. I lost all of my confidence. It probably was what tipped me into the strongest bout of my depression in high school. I felt so guilty for making my family waste so much money. It was just a really bad time, and it definitely affected my willingness to write. But then I'm gonna say halfway through year 12, I started reading and writing fan fiction. Now I know a lot of you aren't really pro fan fiction and probably think that it's stupid and stuff, but it got my confidence back up. Writing fan fiction and putting it out there and having immediate, really positive responses about my writing style and how people really enjoyed my stories really helped me regain the confidence that I had lost. So the scamming thing happened, like the finale of the scamming happened when I was in year 11. I was 16. And then it took me until, I'm gonna say last year. Last year is when, halfway through last year, I started writing Greynere again. What I did when I was reworking Greynere is well, first of all, I just read through it again and was like, no. And I grabbed each individual chapter and put it in a separate Word document, and then went through paragraph by paragraph, changing every single thing, and occasionally just scrapping pages. Like, I remember scrapping an entire chapter. I got more willing to get rid of things in my book when my boyfriend told me that it seemed, because he read a couple pages of my story and said that I was just being wordy for the sake of being wordy. And that kind of like clicked something in my brain, and I just started getting rid of things because I realized that this wasn't a good book because of how young I was and how much I just wanted to seem intelligent in my writing. So I was just throwing words out there. So going through the book, I was going through paragraph by paragraph, going through each individual chapter until I went down from 105 or 108 pages to 70. And then from that, I had my grandmother go over with me. She came up for a weekend and we went over the story in 2 days. And then I got a lot of feedback from that, and then I went through it again, and this time I had written notes down of what I should change. So after that, I went back onto my story and put through the changes, and then I went through it again, and I had a little tablet and I could write on my Word document with the tablet. So I just increased the spacing between each page, and I would go through and I would write notes instead of actually physically changing and typing it out. I'm gonna get rid of this because it's distracting me. Because I am easily distracted. When I went through and changed it with my little tablet note thing that I had that is now broken because my boyfriend spilled Coke on it, yay! I went through and then I put it into another Word document and I retyped it out, all of it again, with my new little written out notes on it. So that went from 70 something pages to around 90. And then after the 90 pages, I printed it all out. So I went to Officeworks and I physically printed it all out with a back and a front and everything. And then I went through it again. And then I went through it again. And again. And again. And again. So I was printing it out and printing it out and printing it out. And it finally got to the stage where now I'm going, I don't know if it's done or if it's just, I'm just nitpicking at every little thing, and I realized in the last go through, I'm changing paragraphs back and forth, instead of just having a solid sentence. I'm changing it back and forth because I'm tied between two sentences, and I'm realizing that I'm getting to this stage where it's just, the book is finished, but it's just my little nitpicking about what sounds better. So yeah, now I'm up to the query stage, which I'm going to be beginning after my final exam tomorrow, which is, by the way, why this video is going to be me talking. And my next video tomorrow might not happen, but if it does, it's just going to be me talking because I'm going to record it now and then edit it if I have the chance. But yeah, so that was the process of me going through and editing my book and what my book is about. So I'm really proud of Greynere, and I hope that one day you can all read it and you'll be proud of me too. So yeah, I don't really know what else to say about my story. If you have any questions about my story or even about me, I will do a questionnaire thing if you want. So leave your questions down below, and if I get like 10 questions or whatever, I'll just do something on that. So last time, which was amazing by the way, last time I did a talking video, I got up to, I think it was 11 likes, and that was freaking amazing because all my other videos have like 1 to 3 likes maybe. So if I can get up to 10 again, that would be freaking amazing, and I would love you guys forever. Yeah, let's try and get this video to 10 likes and 10 comments down below so I can do a thingy for talking again, because this is fun and I like talking to you guys because it makes me feel like you know me a bit better. I hope you guys have an amazing day. Wish me luck for tomorrow because I have 2 exams. That's not fair. I will see you guys in the next video. My social media is down below. Please follow me on Instagram, and what else am I on? I'm on Twitter as well. So I'm on Instagram and Twitter. Please follow me there because I post selfies a lot. I put out whenever I have new videos up. I sometimes talk about my videos on Twitter. So yeah, that's pretty fun. I'm always happy to engage with you if you guys want to talk to me on Twitter as well, because I have nothing else to do except study. So yeah. I hope you guys have an amazing day. This was Come Be a Lady, and I'm gonna say to you now,